Good morning, this is Wayne Bilal with another Smart Profit Maximizing Moment. Been spending literally all week talking to business owners and clients about what to do, all right? First thing, and that's why I said don't miss out on the new loans, the new SBA loans. You need to be hopping down them now, okay? Somebody's throwing you a lifeline, grab it. Now, that's step one. It's just a Band-Aid. It's not going to be enough if you don't do the work yourself. So we're going to talk about that later, where you need to actually do a little bit more, than just give me some money. You need to do some work with that money to actually get through this. And we will get through this. We've gone through this before. I've been through plenty of these recessions that are coming up. I've had nothing like this COVID-19 where the whole thing shut down for a month. But once we get back to work, we're back in familiar territory. We're back in recessions. We're back in the companies that survive and do well during a recession are the ones that actually plan and have a plan, because things are actually not bad during a recession sometimes for the business owner that's a little more out of the box. Don't turtle, don't complain, plan. Have a plan. It's going to be easier to get good employees because they're going to be looking for work. It's going to be easier to get deals from your suppliers. You might even be able to work a deal with your rent. You got help coming in the form of these loans, which are to help you get through this time period until business at least gets going, all right? It'll take another 6 to 9 months at least to get out of, if not longer. But I'm thinking that to get out of this. And during that time, the business owners that actually work it, that actually go hard to improve their profits and to build their business are the ones that are going to come out of this looking really good. Yeah. Right now, you have to take advantage of the lifeline the government's sending to you, all right? So there's a lot of confusion. Let's talk about that, okay? So first of all, there's the economic injury disaster loans. These are traditionally low-interest SBA loans, EIDLs, SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loans, called EIDLs, have been available to small businesses during disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, things like that. They're usually granted on a local level. But right now, they're being authorized by the small businesses in all U.S. states and territories due to COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, each disaster loan provides up to $2 million to pay fixed debts, payroll, accounts payable, and other bills. The interest rate is a fixed 3.75 for 30 years, all right? 2.75 for nonprofits. EIDLs can be repaid over a period of 30 years. It can be less than that too. Additionally, though, here's the one that's confusing people. Additionally, due to COVID-19, the SBA is providing advances of up to $10,000 in EIDLs for businesses that experience a temporary loss of revenue. So that's the confusion. That's what I talked about in my last video. I gave the link. I'll give it again where you can apply for that 10,000. Make sure you get it because it's going to go fast. I guarantee it's really going. People know about it. Businesses are looking for relief. I'll put the link up again. The funds are usually available within 3 days after applying. The loan advance does not have to be repaid. We'll look about it in a minute. But there's a new Paycheck Protection Program. All right. That's the one people are misconfusing. All right. You are covered if your business was in operation on February 15th of 2020 and you had either A, employees for whom you paid expenses, or 1099 miscellaneous independent contractors. So either one works. Small businesses have to employ 500 or fewer employees, including sole proprietors, independent contractors, okay? Self-employed workers are what you think they are, sole proprietors who file a Schedule C, all right? How much aid is available? Now, there's a formula out there. It's really pretty easy. I'm going to attach a worksheet to this video when I post it. Let's give an example. It's basically 250% of your wages with a few things added, okay? So if you have $10,000 wage, multiply it times 2.5, you can borrow $25,000. The law defines payroll costs broadly. It includes salaries up to $100,000 per year per worker. Cash tips or its equivalent. So if your employees are getting cash tips, it counts that. payments for vacations, parental leaves, family, medical or sick leave, allowance for dismissal or separations, payment for group health benefits, insurance premiums is probably the biggest one, retirement plan benefit payments that you made, and state and local taxes assessed on the employee compensation. So what you paid the Texas Workforce Commission if you're in Texas. What's not included in payroll is your annual compensation over $100,000 for any individual employees, compensation for an employees outside of the U.S., and sick leave or family leave wages for which there's a credit is already provided for the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, which I'll cover in another video. How much of the loan is forgiven? That's a key thing that's interesting about this, is all or part of it can be forgiven. Principally the amount that's used for payroll, mortgage interest, rent, and utility payments during an 8-week period starting with the loan origination date between February 15th and June 30th will be forgiven. If the full principal is forgiven, you're not liable for the interest accrued over that 8-week period. And as an added bonus, the canceled amounts are not considered taxable income. I got that one wrong before. I hadn't read it. I was guessing what they would do. I was wrong. They're really being nice. It's hard to find something that's not considered income. Warning, if you cut your payroll, you're going to lose some of the benefit, some or all. All right. So if you take this loan and you had 10 people before, and during this time period you have 8, you're going to 20% of the loan is not going to be forgiven. All right. You're allowed to compare the average number of full-time equivalent employees employed during the covered period, February 15th to June 30th, to the number of employees during your choice of February 15, 19 to June 30th, 19, or January 1st, 2020 to February 29th, 2020. So when you're figuring out repayment, we'll get to that. I mean, that's where it comes in. If you reduce by more than 25% the pay of the workers making less than $100,000 annually, your loan forgiveness decreases by that amount. So in other words, by 25%. When are payments due? Any non-forgiven amounts are subject to the terms negotiated between you and your lender, but are capped at 10 years and 4% interest. All payments are deferred for 6 months and up to 1 year from the loan origination date. All right. If you already applied for that $10,000 or an EIDL for coronavirus-related reasons, no problem. You can refinance the EIDL into your PPP, this payroll loan, payroll protection plan. Any remaining EID, we won't get into that because it's not going to affect most of you. I'm a little confused, but I think that $10,000 counts towards this. I'm going to tie that down today. It's the way I read it, but we're going to find out. How to apply for the EIDL? Well, that's different. People think they're gone to that website with that link and they've applied for this PPP. I apologize. Because that's done with the SBA. The PPP, the Payroll Protection Plan, has to be done with a local bank. Pretty much any bank that has FDIC appeal. I have a couple of banks that are working pretty well. Check with your banker. I'm going to attach the application and how to calculate the loan amount that you can get to this video. All right. There's no fee to apply. The burden for demonstration need is low. In addition to the appropriate documentation regarding your finances, you need only to make a good faith showing that the loan is necessary to support your ongoing business operations in the current economic climate. If you're really not going to have any problems, you probably shouldn't, but I can't imagine you're not. I mean, I've talked to a ton of businesses, expect to talk to more, and we're all seeing a good chance of a downturn. So I'm not sure how you don't qualify here. The funds will be used to retain workers and maintain payroll or make mortgage payments, lease payments, and utility payments, and you do not have a duplicate loan already funded or complete. Look, one thing I was wrong in, I was arguing and thinking about, maybe we should wait until you're ready to be open if you're a restaurant. I had a banker, Ray Aguilar, over at where the heck is he now? Western Heritage. He stays on top of his SBA stuff pretty well, and he's already got a ton of applications going in. It's a mistake. They may run out of funds. $394 billion is a huge amount, but may not be high enough because the demand, based on what is happening with all these people being forced to stay home and businesses to be shut, could be huge. And the money may run out pretty fast. So get your applications in. There's no reason not to. I kind of think if it runs out fast, really fast, there might be more coming, but there's no guarantee. And, truthfully, even if there's not, there's other things we might be able to do, but, don't don't hesitate on this. Don't, you snooze, you lose, man. This is something I'm going to be spending my time today, tomorrow, maybe even Saturday, basically talking about with my own clients how to apply and what amount they could qualify for. I'm looking at Tuesday or Wednesday next week. I was going to do it the week after, but because of the time crunch, I'm going to do it a lot faster. Doing a 1 hour or less webinar, going over these key points, how to fill out the paperwork, what it looks like. Don't miss it. If you haven't done it yourself or you don't have a CPA who's reaching out to you, don't miss these. I'll be talking about it some more. Okay. Hey, until next time, don't let this ruin your year. This can be good. You just got to pick yourself up, say, once the world gets back going, what am I going to do to make the next 12 months my best year ever? Thank you very much.